And welcome everybody once again. Learning through play. That's the topic of today's session. And it was not long ago that learning and play were considered opposites. This presentation aims to show you how to combine these two concepts to help support your language learning students. And we shall look at the benefits of using play in the classroom and discuss some of the challenges that you might face and how to overcome this. Throughout the presentation, there are plenty of practical ideas that you can use in your next class. And I'm going to introduce our brilliant speaker, Aysu Şimşek, who is a passionate advocate for continuing professional development. And in her current role at Oxford University Press, Aysu not only conducts training sessions for teachers across Turkey and Central Asia, but she has also become a workplace coach, enabling her to support colleagues in their career development. She enjoys sharing tips and tricks on English language teaching whenever the opportunity arises. Aysu has co-written articles for Modern English Teacher magazine and T online magazine. Additionally, she has contributed articles to the OUP ELT blog. So please welcome Aysu. Over to you.
Thank you, Anna, for this lovely introduction. It is always interesting for me to hear something about myself from somebody else. Thank you very much. That was lovely. And hi, everyone in the chat box. Those who have joined us today, thank you very much. I can see you're joining us from different places like Moldova, Ukraine, Lithuania, Latvia, Serbia. I saw Albania as well. So I'm really happy to be here. Really excited at the same time. Hopefully we will have a lovely session. Keep the chat box busy. I know I could see that you found the chat box. Vietnam as well. Okay, wonderful. Hi, hello again, everyone. So as Anna mentioned, this is what we are going to talk about today, teaching English through play. But let's not make this session about me. I know I have the microphone and the camera, but you have the chat box, so feel free to keep it busy. Hi, Milika from Turkey, Mersin, and I am from Turkey. I am in Istanbul. Mersin must be really hot right now, even if it is almost the end of September. And thank you, Anna, for pronouncing my name perfectly. Thank you. So I'm going to begin with an emotional check-in activity. You can see some pandas on the screen, and those pandas have different moods, as you can see. Could you please choose one that represents your mood for today and share a number in the chat box? You don't have to choose one because we are human beings. We might have, complex feelings. We are complex beings. That is okay. So you might choose, 2 or 3 different numbers too. But I can see, okay, lovely. The chat box is, running out with different numbers. So we have 1, 3, 5. I love 1. I love 3 as well. I mean, it's like cool for me. I don't know what you think of him, but for me, that panda is really like cool, really. Yeah, so it's lovely that you're feeling cool. Number 2, I don't know what number 2 means to you, Elena, but I hope it is something positive, because for me, number 2 is like, what is going on? What am I doing here? But maybe it means something else to you. There are some of you who are feeling sleepy. I understand. It's still like the beginning of the week. It's normal. It's okay. 6. I love 6. 6 is dancing. I'm number 5 and number 6 combined. Because generally I'm number 5. I love everything. I love life. That's the nature of me. But today I'm double 5, I can say, because I'm really excited to be here. We have Amela, who is feeling 5 and 1. Great, wonderful. 7. I hope, Natalia, you said you're feeling 7, but I hope it is not because of me or this session. You're not feeling angry because of, because of me or for this session. But hopefully towards the end, you will feel maybe like 5 or 1, at least not 7. 3 and 5. Great numbers, everyone. Thank you. There's 8. Lovely, lovely. So thank you very much. So it's good to begin with a positive note, mostly like positive feelings. I know we have some sevens, maybe there are some fours, but hopefully this session will make you feel better. So let's begin by hearing from you, or maybe reading from you in this context. What does learning through play mean to you? You can just share one or two words. You don't have to write a full sentence. You don't have to write an essay. So just share your ideas. What words come to your mind when you think of learning through play? Gamification we have from Somia, and I'm really sorry if I mispronounce your names. It is my ignorance. Please forgive me. Fun, engaging, interesting, exciting. I love those answers. Fun time. Hi, Tatiana from Lithuania. Songs. Highly social interactions. Oh, I like that one. Engagement. We have cartoons. Yeah, words. Kids learn words and it's going too quickly. And communicate. Yeah, thank you, Vitalia. Again, songs. We have fun, easy learning. Yes, like you learn without you're learning. Like it's intentional, but it's not that intentional. Children develop and gain new skills through games. Exactly, taking different roles, and it's okay to make mistakes. I love how you put it all home. Thank you. TPR, motivation, games. Yeah, we have lots of ideas. Great, thank you. So when you think of yourself as a child, we are all adults here, I know, but still we love games. But when you think of yourself as a child, what was your favorite game? Can you remember? Mario. Mario, I think it's like a video game, right? Tag. Oh yeah, I like that one too. Hide and seek. Yeah. One of the most popular games all around the world. It is interesting, right? I mean, I'm from Turkey, you're from different countries, but we still share the same games. I find it fascinating, really. Oh, Barbie, Olesya, yeah. I used to have one. Hopscotch, Hankman, Olha, you were meant to be a teacher. You used to play to be a teacher? Great. Guessing activities like birds, tease animals, probably at school, right? Allegra, dash to the board. I think climbing trees, you were really lucky. Where I grew up, there was no trees. So you were really lucky as a child. So what kind of skills, when you think about it, developed those games? To be a doctor, Katerina. Yes, elastics, Oksana. That was my favorite one. I used to play elastics a lot. I have an older brother, like 9 years older than me. So when I was a child, he was like teenager, but he was a very lovely boy. He still played with me because elastics. I mean, you need another person, I think. You learned losing, yes, creativity, imagination, social skills, exactly, like interaction with others. Okay, Siada, it's an interesting game. Ada Kada, I don't know, like jumping with one leg. It sounds interesting. Social skills, imagination, exactly, communication. Oh, I love flexibility. Yes. Games like play teaches us to be flexible, to think flexible, but also in reactions to problem solving. Wonderful. Collaboration, great. So that's why we love games. We learn a lot of things from them. So this is our agenda, what we are going to talk about today. So first, we are going to define what learning through play means. And then we will talk about the lasting impact of play, where also we will talk about some different games and how we can apply those games in our classrooms. And then we will summarize in the end. So in the next almost 1 hour, this is what we are going to do. I hope you'll enjoy it. So let's begin with the first one. Oh, lastik. We also call it lastik in Turkish, Allegra. In Macedonia, you also call it, I think. Yeah, it is the same. I think in English it is elastics. But yeah, we share the same word for that. So what is learning through play? Let's look into that. So it is basically made out of learning and play, but in the past they have not, when you think about it, they haven't always been believed to go together. So in my case, for instance, when I was a student, it wasn't really like we didn't really play as many games as you would as teachers in your classroom. So my teacher was a little bit more strict. It was a more traditional classroom. So play was something you do in the break time, not in the classroom. So they were often positioned as opposites in the classroom. So learning was seen as important, serious, and it was coming from the teacher. So there was this teacher focus, and then play was something you do for fun, something you do in your break time, like in recess time. But it is, as you all said, fun, free, energetic, and a break from seriousness, from serious studying. But nowadays, these days, I don't think anyone in this room believes in this point of view. Yes, this is, Oksana, for me as well, a very conservative approach. But now we know that, and evidence actually proves that, fun and educational can go hand in hand. And as teachers, we have our own ways how to combine these two approaches. So learning through play is a highly effective, and it is also a pedagogical approach because it engages minds. You use your bodies. There was TPR, for instance, in the chat box. So you definitely use your bodies. The students too, as well. And also there is collaboration and all of the other things that you have mentioned in the chat box. Yeah, there are still probably some people who believe that play and fun don't, go together. But in our classrooms as teachers, I think most of us at least believe that we can combine the two and turn play into something that we can also learn with. So what are the specific characteristics needed for learning through play to be successful? Because you don't just play games in your classrooms, right? There are some criteria that you need to follow. And when you choose or design a game for your students to play, there must be, a framework that you follow. So let's look at it. I'm going to let you read this quote from our focus paper, which we're going to share the link in the end. When you read it, can you tell me which words stand out for you? Susanna says enjoyable, meaningful. Natalia, meaningful. Enjoyable, meaningful. Yeah. You know what? For me as well. Exactly. So those games that we play in the classroom, both should be enjoyable, not only for the students, but for us as well. I always, in my classroom, I always try to find the games that I also enjoy, because as the teacher, if I don't enjoy, I don't think anyone can. And also they need to be meaningful. So joyful is one of the elements to create a lasting impact of play in the classroom. So, of course, it's a game we play. It needs to be fun, but also at the same time, while the students need to learn while they're having fun. And also interactive. Some of you have said engagement. So they need to be engaged and it needs to be interactive. So we need to create some opportunities for our learners to socialize with their peers in the classroom, because a classroom is a community. So, play should help us to create that kind of an environment where the students socialize with each other, engaging, as we said before. So the students need to focus on the game and also learn at the same time, learn from the objectives that you might have in mind in your lesson plans, and also they need to be engaged on the task or the activity or the game. The play needs to be meaningful for the students, so it needs to have an impact on their everyday lives. Like they need to develop something, like we talked about the games that we used to play when we were children, and what kind of skills they developed within us. So we need to make sure that the games we play in the classroom also help us develop our students different skills, so that they can survive in the real world and also develop knowledge. Last but not least, the play that we apply in the classroom needs to be iterative. So the students need to explore new ideas, but also they need to understand that failure is okay. Because some of you said losing. I learned, how to lose by playing games. Of course, some students are going to lose, some students are going to win, or some students are going to make some mistakes in the classroom. These are all okay, and games actually help us, because you can play and again the same kind of game at this, how many times your students want to. So these 5 elements are really important when we talk about learning through play. But of course, it's not always, rainbows and unicorns. There are some challenges, especially when we are teaching English in the classroom. And some of them might be the increased difficulty for learning through play activities. So you need to make sure that, with the proficiency level of your students. Of course, we are talking about pre-primary and primary students, but still they learn, they improve their English, but also we need to make sure that it is in line with the games too. So the more they learn, maybe the challenging the games might become. Of course, we need to think about the language abilities, but also different kinds of abilities and also skills, like thinking, like physical abilities or social abilities. Every student is different in our classroom, so we need to keep in mind that different skills, different characteristics that our students might have. Every classroom is a mixed ability classroom, in my opinion. Some students might, be better at speaking English or understanding English, but some might need more help from you. So we need to keep that in mind as well. Sometimes, in some cases, you might not have enough resources or materials. We will look into that as well. And of course, how can you choose a good game to play in your classroom that supports the development of your students? It's a tricky choice. Okay, so don't worry. We have some solutions to bring out the benefits, because there are really good benefits of applying learning through play in our classrooms. Now we are going to talk about that, while we are also going to talk about the different kinds of activities and games that we can apply in the classroom. Yeah, I'm also checking the chat box. Yes, cool. So moving on with the third part of this session. One thing to keep in mind when we are designing our lessons, and if we want to apply learning through play, one thing to keep in mind is that not to worry about making a whole lesson play-based. We do not have to design our lessons, let's say you have 40-minute lesson, we do not have to have those 40 minutes and play games and games over and over again. We don't have to do that. Instead, we can focus on including specific activities that bring together the elements of learning through play to make it more meaningful. And also, we need to make sure that if you're choosing a play-based activity, we need to make sure that it supports our objectives, our learning goals, in terms of language, in terms of other skills like thinking, creativity, etc., etc. And we are going to look into some activities, like different practices. But while we are doing that, let's keep these 3 questions in mind. How does this support learning through play? What language skills, also other skills, are being used? And how can I, as the teacher, make this work for my learners? Because, as I said before, every classroom is different and every student has different needs. So whatever we are discussing here, whatever we are talking about, or sharing ideas, let's keep in mind and ask these questions, that how can I make this work for my students? Because you might need to tweak something, or add something, take something out, etc. So let's look at the first activity. This is from Toy Team. Anna was talking about this course book. It's a pre-primary course book that has 3 levels. This is from level 1. And what do you think the topic is here? So I covered where you could see the topic. So you can see pink boxes. I did them because I'm asking you to share what you think the topic of this unit is. Colors, yes. I love seeing colors in the chat box. Exactly. It is about colors. You're totally right. And you can see that there are, characters are coloring, some circles, but I colored these circles for them using the classroom presentation tool. There is this, I can say, I think, like a, coloring pencil tool. So I colored the places that needs to be colored. So here are so this means that these colors are our target vocabulary for this unit. And your ways, of course, like the introducing the new vocabulary you might use, maybe real colors in the classroom and show it, say the word, and then the students repeat after you. And here we are going to do something similar. So let's say this is your board you might have in your classrooms. So imagine that this is your board. I don't have a board in my home, but I have it on my screen. And what you can do is that maybe you can just color the board. Use some different color markers, or maybe chalks, whatever you're using in your classrooms. Put some different colors, or you can just cut some cardboard and hang those colors around. So I used star shape because I like stars, but you don't have to use that shape, of course. It might be anything that has colors on it. Like maybe the students can color a piece of white sheet, and then you can hang them around, hang them on the board. And do you know what this is? Does this mean anything to you? Yeah, you can also use flashcards, secretary. Yeah, exactly. Yes, I think this is a fly sweater. So normally you just get rid of flies around, or bugs, if you have any. So there are so many flies here in Istanbul generally. So I have this, but I like the shape of it. So it doesn't really look like a fly sweater, but well done to those who could guess. So you might need to have 2 of these. I only have 1 right now, but in the classroom, you can divide your students into 2, and some one student from each group can come to the board, and you can give one fly sweater to each of the students, and then you shout out the vocabulary. In this case, it's the colors. So I'm going to shout out one color right now, and when you say the color, what the students will do is to run towards the door, to the board, and then hit the right color with the flashcard, with the fly sweater, not the flashcard, with the fly sweater. So let's say I shout pink, and the first student from whichever the team runs to the board and hit the right color with the fly sweater. And whichever is the first, then they get 10 points or 1 point. And then those students can go to the end of the row, and then the second students from each team can do the same. Let's say then you shout out blue, and then they can try to use the fly sweater. If you don't have a fly sweater, it is okay. What they can do is they can just use their hands, just touch the right color, or maybe they can just use their fingers. You can differentiate it according to what you have. Risk of falling, there is always a risk of falling or hurting themselves in the pre-primary classroom, especially. That is totally right. So you might need to get rid of the tables and desks around. Maybe you might want to push them towards the end of the classroom and have them stand in line, and one by one they can come and snap. Let's call it snap the right color. Maybe you can ask them not to run, but just stand in front of the board and then snap the right color with this. You use flashcards, exactly. I mean, I'm going to share a flashcard activity too. I love flashcards too. So it depends on which materials you have, which resources you have, and which resources you don't. As teachers, I think we are naturally, especially English teachers, we are naturally creative. So we always find a way to teach. Yeah, you can arrange the class in teams, exactly. Or, I mean, depending on the number of the students you have in your classrooms. Another way to do that, instead of the teacher says the colors, you can maybe nominate students like, Armina, now you choose a color, and then the other students can, try to find that color and hit it, snap it with the fly sweater. So I really enjoy also reading, different ideas coming in the chat box. That's lovely. I mean, yeah, let's turn it into a sharing session. So what else we can do to extend the application, to extend this activity? Maybe in the next step, you can ask the students to find something blue in the classroom, and then they find something blue. It might be a coat of one of the students. It might be a bag that belongs to one of the students, and then they need to make a sentence, to each other, like it's blue. That's very simple. We can teach them how to say it's blue, it's pink, it's yellow. Or if you are teaching maybe third graders, fourth graders who might have slightly higher level of English, they might say, I've got something, I've got a bag, and it is blue. So, they can extend the sentence and the vocabulary. Yeah, they always enjoy finding something in the classroom. Exactly. And what else we can do? So this is again from the same unit. It's a story, a visual story. So you can do a visual reading, but also you can, again, because this is about colors still, what we can do is maybe you can ask the students to slap words in sequence. So you're going to say more words, more colors right now, because this is later lessons in the same unit, and then they need to listen to you, pay attention to you, and they need to snap the colors in that order as you say it. For example, I might say, as the teacher, what objects are blue and yellow? And then they can point that out. and then I might say, point to one pink and one green thing in the picture. So they need to first find one pink. This is the first one. And then they need to find one green thing. So they need to show it to me. First pink and then green. Again, if you don't want to ruin your smartboard in the classroom or the projector, what you can do, you can ask them gently, point, gently touch the objects that you say. Or yes, as Allegra has a lovely idea, snowball game. They can throw a small soft, or maybe you can make a ball out of used papers. That's also an idea, and they can try to hit exactly. I mean, let's be gentle, and this is also a way to teach our students how to be gentle. Here is another idea. I call it disappearing cards. Some of you mentioned flashcards. I have also some flashcards here. If you have a flashcard, a set of flashcards, that would be lovely. Of course, you can definitely use that. And if you're using an Oxford course book like Toy Team or Brighter Ideas or Beehive, they come with flashcards for the teacher's use. So don't worry. So you're going to have a big pack where you can see different flashcards about each unit. So you're going to have it. But if you don't have flashcards, what you can do, maybe you can ask the students to draw the target vocabulary. In this case, the target vocabulary is farm animals. So they can maybe draw a horse or a cow or a sheep, and you can use and color them, and you can use those pictures as flashcards in the classroom. And this might be even more engaging for the students because they see their own work on the board. But if you have a flashcard, definitely use it and hang them on the board or wall for this game. So this is called disappearing cards because the cards will disappear. So here, as you can see, there are 4 flashcards of some farm animals. My suggestion, it is generally suggested to have 4 to 6 because more might be a little bit more challenging for the students. So if you're teaching 3 or 4-year-olds, let's say 4 flashcards might be better. Do you mean, Natalia, asking students to color? Yes, maybe. But maybe for the 5 last minutes, you might ask them if you don't have flashcards and if you want your students. It depends, of course, how much time you have, what your lessons are like. Yeah, you can definitely change the ideas according to your own context. Not every idea is perfectly suitable for every classroom, so it's definitely up to you how to tweak things. I'm just sharing different ideas so that you can pick from them. So here, I know you know all these words in English, but let's say we are in the classroom and I have my students with me and I introduce this vocabulary. So I say, and I ask the students to repeat after me. So I say a horse, they say a horse. I say a cow, pointing to the cow, and they say a cow. I say a sheep, they say a sheep, and then I say a goat, and then they say a goat. And then the cards start disappearing. And right now, I just only point to the blank part and say nothing and ask the students to say the word to me. Can you remember what was it? What disappeared? What is missing? Yes. Well done. It's the horse. How about now? A cow. Oh, the sheep is still there. Now the cow is missing. Yes. How about now? Yes, the sheep right now. How about now? The goat. Yes, the goat. Can you remember them all? Yes, Armina, I think. Yeah, you nailed it. Horse, cow, sheep, goat. Well done. You're going to see these animals in your in your dream tonight because we're going to continue with those. Great. So we followed an order to do that, right? So I began with um, a horse and then a cow and then all those, all the other animals. So we followed an order. I also like not to follow orders, the order, I mean. You can just mix the order. But maybe this part, this activity can be done after we teach the vocabulary, after we are sure that the students know these words, and then maybe we can revise with this. So, you know the order. What was here? Do you remember? No animals. They go to sleep. Exactly, Anna. The animals are sleeping. Yes. How about now? What is missing? Yes. Well done. Your memories are great. Well done. You're perfect. This one. Goat. Yeah. How about now? It is even more enjoyable when you exactly do it in the classroom, and you might need to sometimes change the pace. Like you might want to do it faster, like removing the flashcards or and pointing them, or very slowly at the same time. Because when you do it slowly, you might want to ask the students to say the word very slowly. Or if you do it very fast, like removing the flashcards and also pointing, then they need to follow your pacing. So this is also fun. I mean, you can change the pacing. Um, well done. Now, who can remember from the back? So we began with the horse and with something else. Can you remember from right? Can you count the animals from the right to left? Anna, you're right. Goat, sheep, cow, horse. Ding, ding, ding. Well done, everyone. You can pat your shoulders. High five to yourselves. Wonderful. You're perfect. Yeah. Great. I mean, exactly. I mean, you can if you have two sets of flashcards, you can definitely play a memory game. Like you can turn the flashcards upside down, and they can try to find and match the same flashcard. Yeah, I love that game too, for sure. Okay, so what's next? We learned new vocabulary. Maybe not so new for you, but new to your friend, your students. What will be the next step? Yeah, cows. Yeah, you can you can have milk or cheese. Yeah, from them. Great. Yeah, asking which one is your favorite, and most of you, I think, like horse. Nobody likes a goat. No, cow. Yeah, my favorite one is cow. By the way, I love cows because they are so calm. They eat, grass mostly, and I'm a vegetarian, so, and I like calm, and I like sleeping on the ground. Goat cheese. That's why you like goat, Anna. Sheep. Some of you like sheep. Okay. And the next step would be asking students first share which animal is their favorite, and also maybe if they cannot write yet, if you're teaching pre-primary, probably they cannot write yet, they can draw a picture. So if you have a piece of paper like this, they can, or you can, I think they can fold it in two, and on one side, if they cannot write, on one side they can draw their favorite animal, and then on the other side they can draw another animal that they like. Or, so this is an A4 paper, it's not really that big, but you might want to have a A3 paper which is bigger than this, and two students can work together on the same paper, A3 paper, or maybe a cardboard, like bigger ones. Two students can work on the same paper, and on one side, as a student, let's say, I might draw my favorite animal from the cards, and on another part, my partner can draw his or her favorite animal from the cards, and we can have our own piece of art and to hang around in the classroom. And if your students can write, I know some of you are teaching primary students, so they might write. If they can write, then you can ask them to draw the animal on one side, and on the other side you can ask them to write a sentence, like why do they like it. It might be because they have a horse, maybe, or for me, I like cows because of their colors, because how calm they are. So I can just write a few sentences. Or if they're just learning how to write, in Turkey, our students learn how to write in the first grade, towards the end of the first semester. So they can just write one sentence: I like horses. That's it. So depending on the level of your students, you can differentiate how you might want to work on this idea. Yeah, for the first graders, exactly. You can definitely use it. Yeah, you're teaching grade 1, they cannot write, exactly, just color, draw. And when I ask my students to draw something, I first draw it myself as the teacher, because I'm a terrible drawer. I am terrible at art. I cannot even color within the shape itself, to be honest. So in terms of drawing, I can't do that. Nobody understands, actually. If I draw a horse, you wouldn't definitely understand that it is a horse. You might think it's a dog, maybe. So just to show my students that it is okay not to be perfect, just be yourself, be authentic, draw however you want, how much you can. It is okay. And what I want from my students is for them to feel engaged, and also feel relaxed, and also feel not stressed, because we don't have to be perfect in my classroom, in the English classroom. It's okay to make mistakes, and let's enjoy our mistakes and learn from them. So this is my understanding. Okay, it's lovely to see that you like the ideas. I'm so happy to see that. So yeah, if you try them, I hope your students will enjoy too. So far, we have talked about the fly sweater game, like slapping, doing it with multiple words, saying different words in an order, and then asking students to listen to it, paying attention, and slapping in an order. We talked about disappearing cards. We talked about disappearing cards not in order. And then we talked about draw and share, like drawing and sharing with the rest of the classroom. Exactly, Erwin. It's important to learn and have fun. Exactly. Unless we have fun, we can't learn for sure. So remember these questions. So think to yourselves, how do these games support learning through play? And what language skills, but also other skills, are being used and developed in these games? And how can, as the teacher, I make this work for my learners? Because my learners might need, something else. So here are some ideas. I asked the questions, but I'm also going to give some answers. These are, some suggestions, some suggested answers. Please, think about these questions when you're designing your next learning through play lesson. So when you think about a game, a play, how does this support learning through play? Is it joyful? Is it interactive? So these are the questions we might ask to ourselves. Is it engaging? Is it meaningful for the students? And can my students repeat it to learn more? And what kind of skills are being used? So you can think about the language skills, like, are they listening? Are they speaking? Are they producing the language? Or are they learning new grammar? Like it is blue, or I have got a blue bag, whatever you're teaching, whatever the course book has, and also what vocabulary sets are my learners learning. But also, apart from the language skills, we should also think about, are my students learning how to communicate and collaborate, or regulate their emotions because they might not know the answer, they might lose the game? Or is this game helping improving my students' critical thinking and creativity? And also, how can I make this work for my learners? Maybe we can think about, do I have to group my students? Do I need 2 teams, 3 teams, for instance? Is there anybody in my classroom that might need support from me? Maybe 1 or 2 students are behind compared to their classmates. Or what materials do I need? Do I have enough flashcards, for instance, or do I need to have a fly sweater? What happens if I don't have a fly sweater, or if I forget my fly sweater at home? So how can I replace it? Like maybe creating another kind of a fly sweater from a used paper, for instance. So I'm going to move on with the last part. So we are finishing up. So if you have any questions, please feel free to share them in the Q&A section. I can't promise to answer them all if there are many, but I try to do my best. So remember the pandas. I know there are some newcomers, so this is a reminder for the teachers we had from the beginning, but also for the new ones, it's a new activity for the new teachers who just joined us. Can you tell me now, which panda are you? Especially if you were feeling like 7 or 4 in the beginning. I hope you're feeling maybe more like 1 or 5 or 6. We also had some 9. There was a question about the books that I used. So I got examples from Toy Team, which is a pre-primary course book, Toy Team by Oxford University Press. The other one was Beehive, again, primary course book, but level starter might be used with pre-primary, as Anna mentioned in the beginning. So 5, you're feeling like 5, 1, 3, like you're feeling cool, I think. 2 and 6, okay, cool. Oh, it's like you're very complicated. You're feeling like 1, 5, and 8. Lovely. 3. I don't see 9, which is a good sign, I think. I'd like to take this as like you liked this session. Emine, you're feeling focused. Okay, cool. 1s, there are lots of 1s and 5. I'm still 5. Really, Thank you very much, everyone, for sharing your ideas in the chat box. 1 and 6, cool. I'm happy to see this. So, in summary, try to create a safe and open environment to encourage your learners to try, fail, try again. So this is the essence of learning through play. We try and we learn from our mistakes. So it is okay to make mistakes or to fail, but we can try again. And with games, by playing games in the classroom, we build awareness and confidence with the characteristics and benefits of successful learning through play strategies. Remember those 5 elements, and also try to explore new examples. I've shared some. You, I'm sure, have some awesome ideas. There are also, some different ideas in the chat box. So try to explore new examples for your classroom. But think about the language skills you're teaching, of course, the objectives of English teaching, but also other skills like communication, creativity, critical thinking, emotional self-regulation, etc. So these are my key messages. And these are the questions that I'm going to leave you with. I love questions. I've been asking them since the beginning. So you can think about after we, finish the session. Don't go yet. Don't leave yet. But when we finish the session, you can think to yourselves, what was new to me? What did I learn? Oh, I've been doing these wonderful things. I'm going to keep on doing. And you might also consider what you need to change. Oh, I need to maybe add my own drawing. Just to encourage my students to draw as terrible as drawings like mine. I'm sure your students are better drawers, better painters than me. Here is our focus paper on this topic, learning through play. It's a free paper. It is 2-3 pages long. If you're interested, if you want to learn more about learning through play, you can download it for free. Thank you. Thank you, team. I think Julia, thank you very much. You put the link in the pop-up. You can download it. And Julia, thank you very much for putting the link in the chat box. You can download it and read more about learning through play. And also, here is another resource from Oxford University Press, again, free. That is my favorite word. This is a position paper. It is a little bit longer than a focus paper. And this one is particularly focusing on global skills. So if you're interested, you can download it and read it on your own time. Of course, Anna mentioned that this recording will be shared on YouTube soon, will be shared with you, and also this will be accessible on YouTube. So whenever you miss me or whenever you want to revisit these ideas, you can also watch the recording. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go into the Q&A section now to see if you have any questions for me. And thank you for your kind words in the chat box. I also enjoyed this session. Allegra asks about the pandas. You might, change